It is always easier to study lot of information if it is organized into categories, right? There are lots and lots of living organisms in this world, and in order to study them, they have been categorized and arranged in a systematic manner known as classification. This study of classification is known as taxonomy. Taxonomy helps us to study the living organisms easily, to know the differences and relationships between different organisms. It also helps us to understand the evolution of living organisms. Aristotle was the first scientist who made an attempt to classify organisms in a scientific manner. He classified living organisms into two main kingdoms, namely plants and animals. Carolus Linnaeus, a biologist, classified plants on the basis of their reproductive organs. Animals were classified based on the similarities and differences in their body structure. Let us first look at the classification of plants. The main parts of plants are roots, stem, leaves and flowers. Plants were classified based on their flowers. They are classified as non-flowering plants, also known as cryptogams, and flowering plants, also called as phanerogams. Let's look at both of these types in detail. Plants can be classified into two types, cryptogams or non-flowering and phanerogams or flowering. Cryptogams are further divided into three types, Thallophyta, Bryophyta, for example moss, and Pteridophyta, for example fern. Thallophyta are again divided into algae, for example Chlamydomonas, and fungi, for example mushroom. The phanerogams are in turn divided into two kinds, gymnosperms, for example cycas, and angiosperms, which are again divided into dicots, for example beans, and monocots, for example paddy. If you look around in a garden, you will find many plants that have flowers and many that don't. As we have already learned, the flowering plants are called phanerogams and the non-flowering plants are called cryptogams. Green algae grow in water, fungus grows on food materials, mushrooms grow on garbage heaps, and soft bryophytes grow on wet walls. Cryptogams or non-flowering plants are divided into three groups, namely Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Algae and fungi belong to Thallophyta. Moss belongs to Bryophyta. Fern belongs to Pteridophyta. The plants that flower and bear fruits are called flowering plants or phanerogams. They are divided into two groups. They are gymnosperms and angiosperms. Flowering plants belonging to this group produce seeds, but these seeds are not enclosed in the fruit. They are exposed outside. The flowers are arranged on structures called cones. For example, cycad trees, pine trees, cedar trees, etc. Angiosperms, or the flowering plants, produce fruits with seeds enclosed in them. Most of the plants belonging to this group are useful to man. For example, mango, beans, tomato, rice and coconut. Angiosperms are divided into two types, dicots and monocots. Dicots consist of two cotyledons in their seeds like beans. Monocots consist of one cotyledon in their seeds like rice and jowar. Let's learn about the classification of plants based on their size. They are herbs, shrubs and trees. Herbs. Small plants like paddy, wheat, mustard, brinjal, lady's finger with tender stems are called herbs. They grow up to a height of 3 to 4 meters. They are upright without any branches or with few branches. Shrubs. Plants which are average sized with hard stem are called shrubs. Rose, jasmine, lemon, pomegranate and hibiscus are examples of shrubs. Trees. Tall plants with hard and strong stem are called trees. Branches arise at the top or upper part of the plant. Mango, neem, tamarind are examples of trees. Next, learn how plants are divided into three groups based on their lifespan: annual, biennial and perennial. Annual plants. Plants which germinate, flower and give fruits and seeds like paddy, wheat, beans, pumpkin and lady's finger are called annual plants because they complete their life cycle within 1 year. For example, paddy, wheat, beans, pumpkin, lady's finger. Biennial plants. The plants which complete their life cycle in 2 years are called biennials. They are vegetative in the first year. In the second year, they flower and produce fruits and seeds. Carrots, beetroot and radish are examples of biennial plants. Perennial plants. Perennial plants live for many years. Throughout their lifetime, they give flowers, fruits and seeds every year. Mango, neem, guava, tamarind, sapota and coconut are examples of perennial plants. Friends, so far we have discussed in detail the classification of plants in various ways. Now let us study the classification of animals. Animals are classified based on the presence of a long rod-like cartilaginous structure known as notochord. Based on the presence of this notochord, animals are classified as chordates and non-chordates. This rod-shaped cartilaginous notochord is present in lower chordates as protochordata. In higher chordates, notochord is present in the form of vertebral column. Notochord is absent in animals like insects, earthworm and snails. These are called invertebrates. They are divided into 9 phyla depending on the basis of their structure. Animals with vertebral column are called vertebrates and are divided into 5 groups as you see in the picture. Let us now see the classification of animals. Animals are classified into 2 types: invertebrates, that is animals without a vertebral column, and vertebrates, that is animals with a vertebral column. In invertebrates, we have protozoa, for example amoeba, porifera, for example sponges, coelenterate, for example hydra, platyhelminthes, for example tapeworm, nemathelmiates, for example roundworm, annelida, for example earthworm, arthropoda, for example insects, mollusca, for example snail, and echinodermata, for example starfish. In vertebrates, we have Pisces, for example fish, amphibia, for example frog, reptilia, for example lizard, aves, for example pigeon, and mammalia, for example monkeys or man. Protozoa. Their body is made up of only one cell. They are called unicellular or single-celled organisms. They can be seen only with the help of a microscope. For example, amoeba and paramecium. Porifera. These are simple multicellular organisms. Their body is made up of 2 layers. Therefore, they are called diploblastic organisms. Many minute pores are present on their body and they live attached to a substratum, that is a layer of rock or soil. For example, sponges. Coelenterata. They are diploblastic animals. Finger-like structures called tentacles are present around the mouth. For example, in hydra. Platyhelminthes. They are triploblastic multicellular organisms. Their body is flat and ribbon-like. They are mostly parasitic. For example, tapeworm. Nemathelminthes. These are long cylindrical organisms with pointed ends. They are parasitic. For example, Ascaris. Annelida. They are long and cylindrical organisms with circular segments. For example, earthworm. Arthropoda. Body of arthropods consists of 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. They have jointed legs. Exoskeleton, that is a hard outer covering that protects the body, is present. Housefly, cockroach and scorpion belong to the Arthropoda phyla. Mollusca. They have a soft body enclosed in a hard shell-like structure. For example, snail. Echinodermata. They have thorn structure on their body. Sea urchin and sea horse belong to the phyla Echinodermata. Higher chordates. The animals with a vertebral column are divided into 5 groups. They are Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Pisces. Fish belongs to the phyla Pisces. Scales are present on its body and it has a 2-chambered heart. Its body temperature changes according to the surroundings. They are cold-blooded animals. Some fishes have skeleton made up of cartilage. Some fishes have hard-boned skeleton called teleost. Shark belongs to this category. Amphibia. Frog belongs to the phyla Amphibia. They live both in water and on land. They have 2 pairs of limbs and their heart is 3-chambered. They are cold-blooded animals and their skin is moist without any scales. Reptilia. Lizard belongs to the phyla Reptilia. Their skin has scales. They have 2 pairs of limbs and their heart is 3-chambered. They are cold-blooded animals. All their teeth are similar and they lay eggs. Crocodile and cobra belong to the phyla Reptilia. Aves. Pigeon belongs to the phyla Aves. The skin is covered with feathers. Their 4 limbs are modified as wings to enable flight. Mouth is in the form of a beak, but there are no teeth. Their heart is 4-chambered and the body temperature is constant and does not change with the surroundings. They are warm-blooded animals. Their bones are filled with air. They are also called oviparous, that is, they lay eggs. Pigeon, sparrow and peacock belong to the phyla Aves. Mammalia. Cow belongs to the phyla Mammalia. Their skin is covered with hair and their heart is 4-chambered. They are warm-blooded animals. They have mammary glands and external ears are present. There is a diaphragm separating chest region and abdominal region. They give birth to babies. That is, they are viviparous. They feed the babies with milk, also known as the process of lactation. Man, cat and dogs belong to the phyla Mammalia. Now that we have learned about the classification of plants and animals, it is time for us to learn the importance of plants. Plants provide food and oxygen to all organisms on earth. They purify the air by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They prevent soil erosion, help in rainfall, prevent pollution, and increase soil fertility. They are useful in the preparation of clothes, paper, and medicines. They give firewood and timber. They also give gums, dyes, fibers, and biodiesel. They are used in Ayurvedic medicines. So, what is the importance of animals? Well, animals provide us meat, milk, eggs, and wool. They give protection, help in transportation, and maintain biological balance. We use animals in scientific research. Biogas produced from cow dung is used for cooking. Well friends, in this topic we learnt about classification of living organisms, plants and animals. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? There will be more to learn in the next topic.